I am struggling to find the words to properly introduce this episode that we just filmed with the one and only Miss Sabrina Banks, because it was quite literally a little bit of everything. Okay, we had fables, we had tales, we had some highs, some lows, some almost tears, lots of giggles. I just truly struck gold in chatting with Sabrina. I am beyond dumb when it comes to cosplaying. Okay, my questions were probably should not have been asked, but I had to know. So truly a big thanks to Sabrina. I hope you guys can check out her content. She's on OnlyFans. She's on Instagram. She's doing all the clips. She's got some great tits, you know? She's everything. Blush up to the eyes. She's a raccoon. She's an elf. I just truly have no words. She honestly said I should be Arthur if I were to cosplay, so I'm going to be processing that for 48 hours. So go Magic Eraser your walls and welcome to Open Wide. All right, Miss Sabrina.
Hello.
How are we doing?
I'm very well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You look great.
Thank you. I hear I look like a celebrity.
No, 1,000,000%. I also must tell you, happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
What did you do to celebrate? Yeah, what was on the agenda?
I had just gotten back from a really long trip. I went to Bali, Thailand, Hong Kong. And after all that, I was like, fuck, I am ready to work, actually.
Sure.
So I came back, and like 2 days later, I did a whole collab day. And then my friends came over for like 4 hours. They tried to get me drunk. I'm like, guys, this was not a drinking occasion. I got stuff to do tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm a working woman now, okay?
Yeah.
Either so 100 one way or the other. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was fun. It was just a little thing.
Wait, also, what's a collab day?
So, like, me and I have, like, a couple friends. We do, like, a bunch of shoots. So we did Marvel Rivals. Everyone says I look like Squirrel Girl.
Okay.
So they've been highly requesting that.
Stop.
Every year I do, like, not a Marvel Rivals, but I did, like, a Squirrel Girl. I'm pretty sure I was on their Pinterest board, to be honest with you. But I do it for No Nut November.
Absolutely.
I dress like a squirrel, yeah.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. The branding is very on point.
Yeah. I think I was on their Pinterest board for sure.
Oh my God. Well, I have 18,000 questions for you.
Okay.
Because the world of cosplaying is so fascinating to me. You're also like the creme de la creme of cosplaying, dare I say. Okay. So the fact that I get to chat with you about this, I'm over the dang moon. So I want to know, not for me at all, for other people, what is cosplay? Like, if you had to like do a little cosplay for dummies, what's the tagline?
Okay, so I feel like it's like Halloween costumes all year round.
Okay.
And typically it's like attached to a franchise.
Okay. Is it always a little naughty?
I mean, it's definitely become that way. I don't think it was pre-TikTok. It wasn't very naughty, but I think the TikTokification of the cosplay girls has really made it into like everyone's wearing sexy spider suits and lingerie versions of, you know, characters.
Okay. Well, because I saw you do a mean raccoon.
Thank you. Yes.
The raccoon is chef's kiss. Would you like, is everyone in that space going to do it in like more of like a little bodysuit vibe, or do some people do a full blown furry cosplay?
Okay, so I don't know where the line is between a cosplayer and like do you have to wear the full fursuit? You know, I
mean, you would know more than me.
That's true. I've never looked into it though.
Okay.
To be fair, I say I love raccoons in an autistic kind of way, not in like a furry kind of way.
Absolutely.
You know? So I guess like everyone does make it sexier now, but that's only because of the OnlyFans promo. And I think that there's a lot of girls that also like are into cosplay, but now they are, so they can get like a following for their OnlyFans.
Okay.
Which that's debatable. A lot of like the cosplay community is that's like you're like a fake fan, right? But then it's kind of like, you know, everyone here is here to get their bag. And also there's a lot of franchises that aren't or that are very popular, like Disney princesses, right? Like, no one's going to complain.
You can't do Disney, or you can?
You can.
Okay.
You can. And for the 18 up ones, you know.
Sure.
But, like, that's still cosplay.
So does it have to be a cartoon? Like, could I cosplay Sigourney Weaver? Or does it have to be, like, some sort of cartoon?
I feel like it kind of has to be a cartoon.
Okay.
Or anime.
Okay.
Or video game character, yeah.
Got it. So then how did you get into this to begin with? Take us back.
Okay, so I accidentally got into this. Everyone thinks that I'm a cosplay girl that, like, is super into video games and super into, like, anime, and I'm not. I know. I'm an oddity, and somehow I've blended in with the rest of everyone else.
Okay.
So I blew up on doing original characters.
Original characters meaning, like,
so, like,
anime.
No. Like, I don't have characters on a franchise. I have, like, I made this myself.
Got it.
Character.
Got it.
So, like, the raccoon is, like, I made it myself character.
Yeah.
The squirrel is I made it myself. And then, like, every, like, December I do an elf, which I'm trying to, okay, I have this idea that I think I can shoot a year's worth of content in 2 weeks. I think I can do it.
I love the attitude.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And not only that, but I don't want to be Sabrina Banks. Okay, this is crazy. No, I don't want to be Sabrina Banks cosplaying an elf. I want to, for like 2 or 3 weeks, be an elf. And, like, I want my elf to have its own Instagram page and, like, not tied to me, so, like, people will find it and, like, it'll still look like me.
You're a method actor. You're literally Robert Downey Jr.
Essentially the same person, for
but
sure.
You want to go full elf.
Yeah.
And so would you wake up, have the ears ready?
I'm going to go and rent out a Hobbit house and, like,
fuck yeah,
every day be an elf and record. And I think I can get a year's worth of content.
Why not? Okay, where does the zest come from? Like, you are such a hard worker in what you do. Like, where do you pull this from? Are you always just, like, full of energy? Is it just something that you love doing?
Okay, it's weird because I'm not full of energy all the time. But I think that there's a part of me, I've never had anyone really ask this. Okay, I think there's a part of me that, like, I do become the elf.
A method actor. No,
I think that I am a method actor. Like, if I can get into that frequency, that beat boppy frequency, then it just, like, stacks upon itself, I guess.
Do you feel the same way about the raccoon? Or is there something about the elf?
I do. I think there's one thing that I'm having an issue with is, like, all of my characters are somewhat the same. And I need to, like, differentiate them a little bit because
like
they're all... Oh, I can't do voices, but they're all me. Like, they're this, but, like, a little bit more, if that makes sense. But they're all the same. They suffer from, like, same face syndrome, you know, sort of thing.
Okay, I do notice there are, like, certain faces, mannerisms. Where are those being pulled from? Like, who created that?
Oh, I don't, okay. Well, the mannerisms, I feel like it's just early TikTokification. And then, I mean, a lot of the anime people, like,
it's like,
God.
Can you, like, teach me or something?
A lot of those people, like, it does come from, you know, animes and stuff.
Okay.
I usually get online that I look like I'm a Pixar character.
1,000,000 fucking %.
So
you would turn into a bird at, like, dusk and then, like, sing little whimsical tunes around town.
Whimsical tunes. That's my motto for this year.
Yeah.
It's more whimsy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess, like, my facial expressions, they just kind of happen naturally, and I think they happen more when I'm those characters. So, but I need
the character comes alive.
Yes, I need to, like, differentiate them a lot more. I'm trying to give them all backstories right now.
Okay.
So, like, my elf one, a lot of it goes into, like, pre-planning, right, for this concept I've come up with that I'm gonna go be an elf, right?
I love it.
A lot of it has, like, pre-planning. So I've created, like, backstories about how this elf is, has a landlord that's a hobbit and they, like, fight, or, like, they really love bread. I'm hoping to become, like...
Niche.
Yeah.
The bread.
Well, yeah.
Is there, like, a love story? Like, does the elf...
Oh, this is the saddest part.
No. Oh, no.
So... I was gonna try it to like go to a bunch of Ren fairs and whatever.
Okay.
And my ex-boyfriend was gonna be the love story, and they were gonna be like
the drama.
I know, the tea, right?
So now we have to kill the ex-boyfriend as the.
Well, I haven't filmed yet.
Okay.
So now we just have to figure out. We got to write them off.
Sure.
You know,
sure.
And I don't know. Maybe my elf will be a little bit of a hoe into like fairies at the Ren Fair or something.
Okay. Can I
pirates?
tell you, I know about the fairy smut. I know, what is it, of court and thorn and roses or whatnot. Like, that is the moment.
Yeah.
So I feel like to capitalize on that would be brilliant.
Yeah.
This is honestly giving me so much context, too. I famously dated a dad in college who has twins. He ate my ass on a windowsill one time. And the twins, ever since they were like 9, have always been into cosplay.
Okay.
And I hope he doesn't watch this, but sometimes I'll check in on them to like see how the costumes evolve. Well, because I'm like, truly they would not know who I am on the street, but like it's cool to see them evolve over time, and the costumes get
better and better.
So intense.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, what's the expenditure? How much do we spend on each costume?
Oh, man. Okay, well, I like the ones that you can just get from Amazon, to be honest.
Okay. Are they a tax write-off?
They are.
Turn the fuck up.
So is lingerie. So Honey Burnett owns my whole bank account, essentially.
I love it.
And then I just paid for, so I do besides doing original characters, sometimes I'll do like old cartoons.
Okay.
Or like stuff that I actually know. I try not to do anime because I don't do that whole thing.
Okay.
But I did just spend like $800 on a slutty Garfield.
What do you mean?
Like, it's a Playboy version of Garfield, but like my boobs look
purchase?
crazy. Huh?
Is this Etsy, DHgate?
No, I have a custom designer in Vegas.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
So
So is there a market for this? Like, is that designer getting good business?
from me.
Absolutely.
From me, and then like I send all my friends there and stuff.
Okay. Are most of your friends from this world?
Yes, I think making friends as a content creator is like super easy because you just like you hit up girls that you're like, okay, I kind of think I would vibe with them, or at least like could collab with them.
Sure.
And then you get to the collab, and then you can decide like if you ever want to talk to them again, right?
Are there ever times where they want to keep talking to you and you're like, uh-oh, lose my number?
Honestly, no. I think that, like, they say that for friendship, you have to be kind of thirsty, you know? And I think a lot of these girls, like, probably have a lot of people that want to be their friends.
Okay.
Right? So I think that there has to be, like, an actual, like, spark, like a friendship spark between you.
We don't talk about that enough.
Yeah.
We talk about the sparks with dating, but there is absolutely a spark with friendships, especially as an adult when everyone's just trying their dang best.
Yeah.
And you go to a party and you're like, thank God, when you meet that one person, you know? It's so special. So then who is your favorite character to play?
I mean, that's not an original character?
Any, when you put on the costume, you're like, this
Elf.
is it.
Elf for sure. I also think I actually have elf ears in my bag right now. I keep them on me. Now that I think about it.
Really?
I brought my bag, yeah.
Okay.
But I think I look better as an elf.
Huh. Honestly, you do have elf-like features.
Like if and then I naturally have freckles, but I think my skin's all fucked up from the traveling.
Yep.
But anyways, so yeah, I think that like the smile, it's wide.
Yeah.
And my elf's a little dumb, which I think is kind of fun.
Do you ever feel like you as Sabrina and the character start to merge? Do you ever feel like there are times where it's hard to differentiate? I'm like, do you have a personality disorder? No. Yeah. Are there times like
and the answer is, do I have a personality disorder?
Maybe. You know, it's like I can only imagine if you're having a hard day, a hard week, and you're like, I don't want to be Sabrina. I want to be the damn.
Do I ever clock out and become an elf? I want to say no.
Okay.
But I do know that, like, if I were to put on the elf ears and, like, try to get into that mood, that I would probably start feeling better.
Huh. Okay. So there is, like, a little bit of escapism.
There is an escapism in it.
And then are there ever days on the flip side where you're like, I don't want to fucking put on the ears?
Oh no, oh God.
Can we
Oh God, the answer is no.
Really?
I don't think there's a day when I'm an elf
that you regret it?
That I'm like, I'd rather be Sabrina Banks. I mean, my elf is essentially very hot.
Yeah.
So, like, if I want to be hot, then I think maybe, like, the elf.
Okay.
But I think when I'm being an elf, I'm not really thinking about being hot.
You just are the elf. Does the elf have a name?
Beans.
Oh. My God. Like the Even Stevens character?
No!
In ways, he is a little elfy.
Yeah, he is.
Sure.
People said I look like Beans.
Oh. Stop. Stop.
No, but, Beans, because, like, Sabrina, Beans, it kind of, like, morphed into this thing. And then I feel like Beans is a solid elf name for, like, a dumb elf.
Sure. No, it fits perfect.
What else do you think? You don't think so? Come up with a better one.
I feel like I need to sit on this. Maybe, like, I mean, I love just, like, an old white man's name, like a Gary.
On a dog, too?
You know what I mean?
Oh,
it hits. Jeremy. Oh, my God, sign me up.
Carl.
Please. Please.
Yeah.
So then, are there times where you take this outside of the cosplaying world? Like, do you ever just, like, go to Starbucks?
I don't go to Starbucks, but I think, for the character, I was thinking, like, eventually maybe because I want to do it for a while, right?
Uh-huh.
So, like, maybe next year after I film the first year of, like, really setting in the foundation of the character, doing sort of like a New York Beans episode, you know, like a elf. Yeah.
Okay. And does that get posted onto YouTube?
No, I think it's easier to make short form content. Long form, I would definitely need more than 2 weeks, I think, to get that done.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So, okay, I have 8. This is like sprouting so many other questions, but I want to know, it's a Tuesday. Okay?
Huh.
Well, not today, but we're imagining it's a Tuesday.
Oh, it's a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just woke up. You have a packed day.
Okay.
Run me through what's happening.
Okay, so my days are all kind of like skewed differently because I do full days for one thing. So if it's a film day, typically I usually, when I'm not traveling, I usually wake up at like 12.
Okay.
And 12 noon.
Yep.
And then I will film until about 3 to 6 o'clock.
PM.
AM.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
What?
So that's why I'm convinced that I could make enough content, because usually when I make content, I make at least 200 to 300 pieces of content.
What uppers are we doing?
What uppers? Alani New energy drink. Fucking sponsor me.
The energy drinks are getting us through. So when you say you're filming, are you collabing with different people? Is it solo?
No, usually when I do collabs, it's so much harder to get enough content.
Okay.
Everything's a little bit slower. They got to do retakes. You know, it's a whole thing. Usually what I do is I have a huge closet with too much shit in it. And then I'll take it out and then I'll make like 10 different like outfits. And then I just switch through them. So I try to do like 8. Sometimes I get carried away because I'm really excited and I'm really like into either the outfit or like the overall like look, and I'll do too many and then I punch myself later for that.
Oh no.
But yeah.
Does each one have different makeup? Like, do you have to do a full beat for each one?
I don't do like a full new beat, but like I'll like add eyeliner to like the next look, or like, and I'll do my hair slightly different, have different hats.
Do you ever do wigs?
I don't do wigs because I cannot do a wig install to save my life, which is pathetic for a cosplayer. But I also have this theory that you should be characters that look like you or like you should make content that looks like you, because whoever's finding the content wants like someone who looks like you. Okay. Right? Because like the same person that's into a bouncy blonde with bangs isn't going to be into someone who's like super like edgy and then has red hair.
Okay. You literally have to brand yourself.
Yeah. I think that's why I'm like more like a little, how do I say this without sounding like a cunt?
Let it.
I think I'm maybe really good at marketing and branding, and I think that has 100%. Very much carried the whole brand, even though I maybe don't do as crazy content.
But people come to you for the thing that you do. You also got the bang and bangs.
Thank you.
And I feel like that is very, we see that throughout each character, and like that's very you, it seems like.
I kind of like all the characters to look like me and feel like me. Also, it's just easier. But, you know, when you're online, right, and you're scrolling, if you're just a dude, and all of the girls look very similar, or they can't tell who you are because you're in cosplay, doing characters that naturally look like you are going to be more successful because they're going to go, oh, that's Sabrina. Whereas, like, if I look too much not like myself, they're not going to even realize it's Sabrina. And even if they haven't followed me, like, if I pop up 8 times, but I'm 8 different characters, they're not going to be able to link those characters to one person and check out my page.
So then do people come to you for you, or are they coming for
God, I like
the
to
elf?
Think so.
Yeah, like, is the draw of cosplay the actual character itself and who can do the character the best? Or is it, do you start to kind of have like celebrities within the cosplay world?
There are definitely celebrities in the cosplay world. I think, though, like, the purest version of it is being drawn to the character and finding a cosplayer that does that character good.
That's the perfect.
But I think for like marketing, branding, for the individual, you know, that's not the case.
Okay. So then if you are evolving as a person, as Sabrina, do the characters also evolve? Like, could Beans end up going out to war and like coming back with a peg leg, and like, do they change as well, or do the characters stay the same?
I think that they stay relatively the same, but like the narratives that they're in are different.
Okay.
You know, so like I don't live in a hobbit house, but he has a hobbit house, and the landlord's really obnoxious and he loves bread. Not that I don't love bread, but you know what I'm saying? Like an obsession with bread.
Where do you pull this from? Just the portals of your brain?
So, like, people always ask me, like, what am I doing if I'm not playing video games and, like, not watching movies? And I really just sit and I think about these, like, things that don't exist, I guess. And then I also think about, like, marketing and branding. Like, those are my 2 time fillers.
Okay, so you're a big gamer.
No, I don't game at all.
No,
but that's part of the charm, too, is, like, so when I was doing streaming, I couldn't game. I've pretty much, I found out is it WASDA? You know, you're like, yeah, WASDA.
Okay.
So like,
God bless.
Very, very basic stuff.
Okay.
But that's like the fun of it, because I've never played Pokemon. So and it does get kind of bad sometimes, because I'm like, I keep running into the hospital. How do I get
Stop.
How do I get past the hospital? So like everyone is kind of like feeling like they can help me and like learning how to game, but also like my whole brand is being bad at stuff and doing it anyway. Like you can be trash at something and still like be great.
Liberating.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the whole image of streaming is that you're watching someone destroy the game, but like what if the whole thing is that you don't know what you're doing?
Yeah.
And Beans is kind of dumb, right?
Yeah.
Well,
that's just Sabrina.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sabrina doesn't know.
Do you ever, so is there like a Sabrina character, or is that just a separate
is there a Sabrina character? I think like I think that Sabrina is the most like me in general. I do think it's probably like the most interesting version of me.
Okay.
You know, there's lots of times that I'm like, I don't know, sleepy, I guess. But I guess like,
is Sabrina your real name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you wish you had a different name online and like separated the two?
No. No, I kind of like it.
Yeah. Well, because you get to live in fantasy world with all these other
characters. Yeah, I feel like I don't need it.
So then do you ever go to conventions?
I do. Okay. So my thing about conventions is I like conventions if I have my own booth. But if I have to like walk through a crowd that's really packed, I went one time, I think it was to Level Up, and I tried to walk through the crowd, and I kind of low-key had a panic attack. And
because it's so packed.
It was so packed. And like I went to Vietnam, and like they have those Vietnamese like Vietnam tunnels.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And it was like, haha, like go through the tunnel, it'll be so much fun. And it wasn't even that long. And you're literally only one direction. There's other people. It's completely dark.
Absolutely not.
And like my boobs are to my knees.
Absolutely
and
not.
I'm freaking the fuck out. And I'm like, oh, turns out I am actually claustrophobic. That's how we found out.
If my nipple is grazing the floor in anything, it's going to be a big fat no. A big fat no.
Yeah.
I always said if I was happily married, okay, 2 children, picket fence, whatever, and my husband asked me to do an escape room, he would be served paper.
Okay, but an escape room's so airy, and you kind of have like, there's an exit door.
But are you allowed? Before you get
you're allowed to exit.
I feel like you have to like tell a riddle to like get the sausage and then put the thing. I'm just like, oh.
No, they have like emergency exit doors like for fires, you know?
I would absolutely set off every alarm. I'd say I'm done. Okay, so you're into escape rooms.
I do really like escape rooms.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Have you ever done Comic-Con though? Is that like the biggest?
I have done outside of Comic-Con.
Okay.
I have not done the inside of Comic-Con to what I'm aware.
Do you have to pay to be I
could probably ask to do it and they would let me.
Okay.
But I also have no foresight. So like, you know, I booked this week.
You're
you
just
know?
On a whimsy.
We're having a whimsical year.
Callback. So then when you're at convention or convention light, are people ever weird with you? Like, how do they interact with you? How are your fans?
Okay, so I feel like for a lot of people, they can get weird fans. I feel like I never do.
Okay.
And I don't really know why, or maybe my like threshold for weirdness is just really off the chart.
You're like, he just shat on my mouth, but other than that, it's totally normal.
Come on.
Yeah. No, but it's fine.
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm also not like super against like touching or anything, and maybe it's because I'm such a loudmouth that they don't try anything with me.
You like set the standard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. If I come in like this, they're almost like timid of me. You know, and I'm like, no, we're fine. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
You know, so like no one's trying to like touch my butt or anything. You know.
Okay. Do you ever get like weird comments, like weird threats online?
I mean, I have this issue. I don't know if it's a bad issue, but I think like if I get hate comments, it's almost like it's almost like I don't focus on hate comments. I only focus on love comments, which is kind of sick, right?
It's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. So like the hate comments don't really affect me all that much, and I don't know why. I think it's because I feel like they're like not really aligned with like who I'm even like looking forward to. Like, I don't know.
You're like, why do I care what Cheryl in Minnesota thinks? Like,
yeah. But if Cheryl in Minnesota says something nice, I'd be like, me and Cheryl from Minnesota,
besties.
Like, yeah.
Well, does it also feel like maybe because you're in a costume or you're playing a character, maybe the comments don't hit as deep because it is?
No, because I think those are all for my Sabrina Banks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also, there's a lot of times like they only see one video. Like the hate comments usually are never multiple videos.
Sure.
Right? Sure. And so they're only seeing one tiny aspect in one moment of who I am. I can't really take that as they see all of me. They only see one aspect of me, and perhaps I wasn't showing the full version of me. So even if they hate it, it's not like they knew me anyways.
Okay. Well, because I feel like cosplaying has such a tremendous audience and such a big following, but it's also met with some backlash.
Yeah.
I feel like people call it cringy, whatever. Yeah. But it sounds like you have managed, you take the good out of it and then you just put the negative on the back burner.
Yeah.
You don't even pay attention to it.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably definitely cringe for sure. I guess I just never really cared if it was cringe.
It makes you happy.
Yeah, it makes me happy, and also I've always kind of been cringe
since birth.
Yeah. I was not popular. I was always alone. I think this is the most amount of people that are like, you're cringe, but I like you. Yeah. Yeah. Whereas before it was, you're cringe and no one's talking to you.
Want nothing to do. Okay.
Yeah.
Were you bullied growing up?
Oh, bad. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And you grew up in California, Southern California?
Yes. California. Okay. Yeah.
And was it just, were you an artsy theater kid?
Well,
I'm putting you in a box.
And that box would be correct.
Okay. Okay.
That's why we have boxes around here,
Absolutely.
So yeah, I was kind of a theater kid, but I wasn't a good one because I have a really bad memory, but I'm really this.
Okay.
Right? So I feel like I could be a theater kid. So I did a lot of improv. Mm-hmm. And then I kind of like not even the theater kids really fucked with me that much. You know what I'm saying? But
who were your people? Did you have like one close friend? Did you have a group? Like who were your peeps?
It changed a lot.
Okay.
'Cause a lot of the times, like, I had a lot of falling out with people because I'm a little bit like, I don't know, pure-hearted, I guess. And like, I also have no problem being like, oh, I see who you are. I'm cutting you off now.
Okay.
That's usually not a problem for me unless I'm in love. But anyways, bastard.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I think that, like, I was bullied a lot because I came from mostly a Asian school.
Okay.
And I was, like, a chubby white girl. You know, so
I say something that I feel like Asians love chubby white girls. Is that bad to say?
Filipinos don't mind a white girl. Okay. I think that the people that I was with, I don't know, I got bullied pretty hard for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like that built a very tough skin?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I think that from a young age, I was always taught, like, it doesn't really matter what other people think. And you should just be yourself.
Okay.
And, like, yeah, that'll serve you the best. Yeah.
So then when you got this big following, was that kind of, like, jarring? Was that alarming to have all these people watch you?
Jarring and alarming, I would say, are not the adjectives I would use.
Okay.
I would say, like, it was... So when I, like, got my really big following, I was actually at, like, one of the worst times of my life.
Really?
So it was, like, I was super depressed. My brother was like, let's go to coding school. And I was like, all right, I'll go to coding school.
Yikes.
So I do have a coding certificate. Fun fact, guys. But I was, like, not having a good time in coding school because I'm, like, a creative. And, like, they try to sell me, like, coding can be creative. And I was like, shut up.
In what way is coding creative?
Like, you can do design, and that's true. But
Isn't it just like parentheses and asterisks and like a couple letters? Like, what is...
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
You know, but I was never, like, doing this, right? So I wasn't really having any fun with that. And TikTok wasn't even cool at the time. Like, I think I had just changed from Musical.ly. TikTok was, like... No one was on it.
Okay.
No one was... blowing up on it. So I was one of the first people, and it was really nice because no one knew about my account in real life, right?
Oh.
So I think this has given me a huge benefit. So I could completely be myself online, and no one I knew would find it.
But were you cosplaying in the videos, or were you just you?
Okay, so here's the thing, is like, I wasn't really cosplaying. I would buy these Halloween costumes.
Yeah.
And I just liked them. So, like, I had, like a Bo Peep dress and, like, a Goldilocks dress that I would wear a lot. And then, like, but I just wore those because I thought they were cute. And I was like, I'm smart. No one around me makes this type of clothing because TikTokification of the world hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
So I would buy Halloween costumes off of, like Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that.
A beautiful place.
So, yeah, I was just, like, kind of dancing, talking, goofing around.
And then was it one video that you then blew up, or was it, like, a slow burn over time?
It was a couple of videos that blew up over time.
Okay.
So I think my first one, I had a wig net. And then, like, I put it over my face so my, like... nose was, like, turned back, and I was like, I'm a beautiful orange. And then something did kind of well. That was my first little, like, oh my god, like, people have found me on the internet, right?
Okay.
And then I think after that, I sat on a bed and smiled one time, and that blew up. Yeah, I was also early on to Reels.
Okay.
Because it wasn't even Reels yet, it was video. So I would just take my TikToks after I got a little bit of traction on TikTok, and I was like, fuck it, full send, we're putting them on Instagram now.
Yeah.
Right? And so I did that, and then when Reels came out, I already had, like, a fuck ton of videos that were turned to Reels.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of dominated that too.
Huh.
Yeah.
But I feel like the cosplaying community is pretty saturated, so, like...
Now.
But before, you're saying it wasn't.
Before, it wasn't really saturated.
Okay.
And also, I think, like... it was kind of cosplay because I looked like I was cosplaying something, but I wasn't actually for like until like the December I blew up, which is when I became an elf.
Okay.
And yeah.
I love that.
So I was just talking and being myself. I think that's...
You like dipped your toe and then we just
accidentally.
Jumped in.
Yeah.
So then when did OnlyFans come into the picture? Was that beginning?
So before I went to coding school, and like during coding school as well, I was a boudoir photographer.
Okay.
So I like all day long would take pictures of these hot like Instagram baddies in lingerie, and I was like, I don't want to take pictures in lingerie, right? Because I think it's like a beautiful like art, and like women are magical, right? And my boyfriend at the time like didn't want his friends to see me in lingerie on Instagram.
Hater.
And I was like, to be fair, he was my high school sweetheart.
Oh.
I was like, this man that's not what he signed up for.
Sure,
you know what I'm saying?
sure.
So I was like, all right, fine.
Okay.
And so I put them behind a paywall, and I wasn't famous, so no one really bought them. But I got to take them, and I got to put them out into the ether, right?
Okay.
And then when I started blowing up, I already had the OnlyFans, which wasn't a thing at the time. Not really.
Girl, you are so ahead of the dang curve.
On accident. Life's just, thank you.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So then are you cosplaying in your OnlyFans content?
Currently, yes.
Okay. And you're never nude, right?
No.
Okay. But are you like smooching people?
I do like
Like
artistic nudes.
Okay.
And then I do some smooching and some other stuff. I think my biggest sell is that I don't mind talking. Right? So I think a lot of girls, they have this issue where like, yeah, they can bounce and like, you know, shake their ass.
Sure.
But they have like a fear of talking. So what I'll do for all of my videos is I'll come up with a concept, and then I will like completely script out something.
Like a little monologue.
Like a little monologue, yeah.
And is it based on the character that you're playing? Like, could you read the Declaration of Independence as like the elf, you know?
Yeah. I have a lot that is like cosplay that it's based on like the monologue.
Okay.
Or based on the character. But then there's a lot of stuff that like, you know, I'll be a maid or like your girlfriend or your dream girl or, you know, nurse stuff. Yeah, I also like another sell that I have is I do a lot of niches that are not being, like the supply and demand is fucked.
Like what?
So I do like inflation content, and then I do like giantess content.
Inflation content as in like the stock market inflation?
No, but I really should. But I think then people would get mad because then they would know what they're buying. Okay. So like inflation, like Violet Beauregard, you know, when like she inflates.
Okay.
So like my body inflation.
Do you wear one of those suits that like...
I need to get a suit, but I've always just kind of done it with like a lot of cuts and then a lot of like, and then like maybe stuff like ripping and stuff like that. Yeah.
So good at tapping in.
Yeah. So I didn't want to do super explicit porn.
Okay.
That's just like not my thing.
Not your jam.
Not my jam.
Okay.
Right? And so I was like, okay, well, how do I make money? How do you expand? How do you go from here, right? Yeah. And my idea was obviously just keep going into different niches, right? And then you'll not only garner a large audience from that niche, but they're also like usually the sweetest people are the people that have like some really interesting kink.
Yeah.
And then like they're also willing to pay more and stick around.
Because you tapped into their
thing that they can't really find anywhere else.
So then is the majority of your audience male?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you like interact with them? Is it just like a one-sided thing, or do you do like one-on-one chats or?
So I pre-Soul Search, I was doing like I did like a lot of like person to person voice messaging.
Okay.
So not like a live cam, right? But I would voice record to them. Mm-hmm. So that's how we would have a lot of conversations. So I think that also helped. And then I do like a PPV video every day.
Okay.
And then I do a feed thing every day. I also have like a menu, like my menu is 18 pages long.
What?
Yeah.
And you can order from the menu?
Yeah.
Of what they want. And that's...
Yeah.
Okay, so they can subscribe to you Just like your broad page, and then they can get more personalized content.
Yeah. And then like the 18 pages, like there's probably like 10 different to 15 different like niches, right? So typically like when I film, so like say I have like Gwen Stacy week coming up.
Okay.
Right? Because I look like Gwen Stacy, at least the comic version. We're going with it, okay?
Love. Yeah.
So I'm going to have like Gwen Stacy week. So I filmed, I think last year, like 8 to 10 pieces of content that were all Spider-Gwen. And so like I have Joy's, like jerk off instructions.
Okay.
And then I have like Giantess Gwen or like Humiliation.
I'm sorry, we just need to pause for a quick second. Joy is the most iconic thing I've ever... Why have I never heard of that?
What?
Jerk off instructions?
Yeah.
I need to incorporate that into my own world.
Yeah. It's like very popular.
Obsessed. So you like tell them what... So you're kind of a dom a little bit.
I can... Yeah, I mean, I can be.
Okay.
You know, it's acting, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I'm obsessed. Okay.
I can act like I'm a dom, but...
Love.
Low key in real life.
Love.
Very submissive.
Okay, so there are instructions to what they have to do. So this is so personalized. Do people ever tell you to do something that you don't want to do? Like, do they ever?
Yeah. There's always like, hey, shit on camera, and I'm like, sorry.
Pass.
You know, I like.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have my shit leaks on there online. Sorry. That's actually where I draw the line.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'll say very aggressive things, and I think like 8 months ago, I didn't finish the doc. I have a problem with like finishing something, especially documents. But like I have a whole list of like sorted by kink, and then I did research on that kink in lines, so that way I can always reference those lines and put it into the individual narrative or costume.
I'm literally picturing like a color-coded Google Sheet Excel that has like all of this.
Yeah, like
this
that.
Is so involved. So is OnlyFans your main stream of income?
Yes.
Okay.
And the reason is because there was that thing online that was like, if you are monetized, like in like the creator, what the fuck they call it, Instagram creator or whatever, right? Then they will stifle your views.
Why?
I mean, it makes sense. They're like, they don't want to pay out, so they stifle the views. So they don't have to pay you as much. I don't know. That was the big rumor on the street.
But OnlyFans does not do that.
So if I start monetizing each individual platforms, my views will be stifled. And if my views are stifled, the big moneymaker is OnlyFans, right? So I'm making my funnel too small.
Okay.
Right? So I'll probably make more money with OnlyFans. I also have the hiccups every so often,
That was the cutest thing I've ever seen in my whole... Are you joking?
Yeah, I also do burping content.
Oh,
yeah.
My love. Do you have like a cute burp? Is it like a little like... Or is it like a thunderous...
Is it kind of cute?
Oh, that is cute.
Thank you.
It has like a good little baritone to it.
Yeah.
So OnlyFans is your bread and butter.
Yeah, and I just don't want to do anything to fuck that up until I decide to fuck it all up and stop doing OnlyFans.
Okay. Is there a world where you do want to stop OnlyFans?
Yeah, I mean, I have always wanted to have like a family. Like the whole reason I got like super into OnlyFans and really grinded on it was to make enough money that I felt like I could have a family.
Okay.
So, you know.
So you feel like once you get to that point, OnlyFans will probably...
But now I'm at that point. And so now I'm like, well...
You're at that point as in you were expecting a child?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
Like, I'm at that point, like, I could quit now.
Okay.
And I would be pretty much okay. Like, I just bought my mom a house. Like, I've handled everything. My kids' college, like... Everything's pretty...
bitch, you got it like that.
Everything's pretty much handled. Everything's pretty much handled. But now I'm in the point where it's like, well, what do I want to do?
Yeah.
And it turns out what I want to do is go be an elf for like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you can do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I mean, and all of this is fun, you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
So you bought your mom a house. Did I also see that you had to maybe sue your brother?
No, I would never sue my brother.
Okay.
No, I love my brother.
Why did I see something on TikTok where like someone was using a banner of you where there was like some...
There's always like these outlandish things. I was going to sue my cousin's not husband, fiance.
Okay.
So I guess they got into a weird fight. So this is how my family found out about my OnlyFans.
Uh-huh.
So.
I can't wait.
It's good. Family drama, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So they got into a fight. Obviously, I knew my cousin from when I was really young, but we hadn't really talked much. I went to a family reunion. I meet this guy, whatever, right?
Okay.
Her fiance. Anyways, they get into a weird fight. This man... And I don't even have, like, good facial recognition for people, too. This man, because I do dick rates.
What is that?
So I, like, rate your dick. So, like, people will show me, and then, like, I go over, like, things that I like about it, things that I don't like about it, what I would rate it as. I go over, like, length, width.
Like a little curve.
Overall,
do you do the balls, too, if they're, like, even, uneven?
You know, I've never done the balls.
Okay. Just a nice hog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I should start including that.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
3 for 1. Okay.
Anyways, so he sends me a dick rate, right, in a closet with his face.
Wait, your cousin?
No, my cousin's fiance.
Okay.
My cousin's the girl, right?
Noted. Okay,
so,
the cousin's... What?
So he sends me a picture, right, of his dick and his face in it. And I'm like, that couldn't fucking possibly be. That'd be crazy, right? That'd be crazy. Anyways.
Post-family reunion?
This post-family reunion.
Gall.
I know.
The utter gall.
I know. I'm like, I don't even fuck with you people like that, you know? So, he sent me, his face and his dick. And I was like, couldn't be him. And then I messaged my cousin. I'm like, hey... what's up? And she's like, this is weird. You don't talk to me like that. Right? And I was like, how are you and your fiance?
Stop.
And, she's like, we're not doing that good. Is there something you need to tell me? And I was like, I don't remember his face, and it's dark in the picture. I was like, is this him? And she's like, that motherfucker. I knew it. And so they have a huge blowout fight, right? Fiance and all. She was pregnant at the time.
This sounds like a telenovela.
Yeah, so she ends up having a kid, right? But anyways, they get into this huge blowout fight. He posts my OnlyFans content as his Facebook banner. And on his Facebook wall.
Which, honestly, thanks for the PR.
Right, but
thanks for the marketing.
That's all of his family, like...
He has, like, 12 followers.
Yeah,
sure.
Damn it, you know?
Sure.
So I was like, bitch, I will sue the fuck out of him right now. And she's like, no, you can't do that. Like, I have a kid on the way with him, and he'll get, like, a sex charge or something, right? Because it's, like, a revenge porn. Or something. I don't know. I didn't look much into it because she was like, please don't. I want him to be able to see his kid even though we're not on good terms. And I was like, fine.
To be clear, you were just living your life.
I didn't even do anything. I don't even, know him.
Yeah, and he sent you a dick pic.
Right.
Which we didn't even want in the first place. We rarely do. And then you somehow get put in this whole mess. Like, what?
Yeah, I mean, my cousin obviously was like, this is not your fault. Thank you for telling me. But, like, now my whole family knows, and that's a whole... I mean, it didn't end up that bad. It also doesn't matter.
Are they fine with it? Do they? I mean, you bought your mom a house. Like, you should be a little grateful.
Yeah.
For showing some tits. You know what I mean? But, I mean, has everyone been decently...
Well, my grandparents are dead now. And also, it's not like I cared all that much.
Okay.
Like, I think that they instilled, like, you do what you believe is right. And, like, I have a lot of autonomy and, like... you can make decisions for yourself, and
you're an adult.
Yeah, not only I'm an adult, and like I shouldn't just go through life trying to please other people and be something different. So unfortunately for them, they have instilled that in me. So that includes them.
Okay.
Like, I don't feel necessarily the need to do my life according to what they would like. When my father found out, he was like, you're an adult, you can do what you want. And then I told him, like, how good I was doing and, like, that it was very impressive. It was, like, a 0.01%er. Yeah. All with no management. So all myself.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my dad has always had this thing where he's like, you could do and be whatever you want. I don't think he knew that I was going to pick that one, right? But he's like, you could do and be whatever you want as long as you're the best at it.
Oh.
So when I told him that,
beautiful.
he was like, wow, I'm very impressed and very proud of you.
Raccoon I could ever fucking see. Hell yeah.
So he was pretty like supportive, which I didn't really foresee happening.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, but I think it's also because I was the best at it. You know, so I think a little bit of him was like,
you're the valedictorian.
Yeah.
How about this? My friend thought that word was valedictorian. I want to do some trivia with you.
Okay.
Are we ready?
I'm so ready.
Just 3 quick little questions.
Okay.
What's the world's most populated city?
The world's?
I think
it's in India. Oh, China?
Tokyo.
Tokyo?
Were you just there? Did I make that up?
I was in Hong Kong, but I've been to Tokyo. Tokyo, really?
Yeah, isn't that trippy?
I'm kind of surprised it wasn't India, though.
I know. Who was the first woman ever inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
There are women in rock and roll for sure.
To be fair, she doesn't really give rock and roll.
Not even a little? We're talking bluesy?
A little more, yeah.
I don't know.
Aretha Franklin.
Oh my god!
Were you gonna say
Aretha Franklin? But I was scared because I was like, if I say Aretha Franklin and then the comment section is like,
your gut.
She doesn't even do this, that, or the other. I'm so mad.
Trust your gut.
I swear to God, guys, I was going to say that.
God damn. I'll just cut it in where it like comes out your mouth.
Yeah.
Okay, what animal breathes through its butt?
I did not see that one coming. Let me think. I feel like I could get this. Breathes through its butt. Animal. Sea or land?
Some may say both. Mostly sea.
Mostly sea.
Both. I'm sending it to you in your brain.
I feel
right
it.
now.
Oh my god, it tickles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I want to say whale.
A turtle.
A turtle. God, that really is a land and sea animal.
I know.
God.
Damn. Can I ask,
Wow.
could you see me, like, if I had to cosplay as something, what would it be? Drag me across the coals. It can be like the old
Daria.
grandpa. Who was that?
Like from Daria.
Is that a cartoon?
Yeah. You don't know Daria?
No.
It's like, she's got glasses. She's got like a green jacket. She just kind of like stands there. I think she has boots.
Okay.
And then her friend is like this like Asian girl with like short black hair. You've never seen Daria?
No.
Oh, you got to do it.
Okay.
Or like maybe like, I feel like
No,
Arthur?
literally you can say it. Obsessed with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely obsessed with
cute.
that. Arthur with tits.
Sexy Arthur.
Yeah.
Let's make the comment section mad.
Oh my god, I found my niche. When you get into character in your filming, is it like a high that you feel? Do you ever get like a little horned up? Like, what's the sensation that you're feeling when you're like really deep into character?
I definitely think that when I'm doing like TikToks and stuff, I definitely do get my beep boop boppy, like funness.
Okay. Yeah. A little zest,
a little zest,
little
for
razzle
life,
dazzle,
a little whimsical.
Okay.
But I do sometimes get horny for the OnlyFans.
Absolutely. I mean, how can you not?
I also think that like when I am horny, I will make OnlyFans content. You know, a little twofer. Or sometimes I'll like, since I post a photo every day, when I get horny, I'll go back in and like recaption all of them. Yeah.
From that headspace.
From that headspace.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. And are the kinks that you tap into ever kinks of your own? Or are they usually other people's? Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really like the super kinky. Like nothing like crazy comes out to me, but like I do have a little bit of maybe like an oral fixation for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got a great mouth, the teeth,
Thank
everything's
you.
just
Thank
like
you.
strong. So are you single? Can I ask that?
I am single.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
The dating scene is interesting. Treacherous.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. How is it like dating in this world? I mean, are you meeting people all the time that you're attracted to?
It's kind of like a clusterfuck, right? Because it's like sometimes I want to date a more normal person because sometimes more famous people have their head up in the clouds a little bit too much, you know, and not as grounded, right? But then sometimes like more normal people like don't get this whole thing that I'm doing, right? And like, you know, sometimes I guess on both the normal and like the more like celebrity famous people, it's sometimes there's like competition or like they feel this weird sense of like, especially with men, like,
right,
you know, I have like
dim your light.
I know, not to like to dim my light, but like, you know, I think that like for masculinity, a lot of it is like being a provider, and it's kind of like, well, what can anyone can provide me?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Except for love, right?
Forehead kiss.
Right. You know? But men aren't like, I feel like not conditioned to do that.
Okay.
You know? So it's been rough. And then I'm bisexual, right? So I could go after women, but I've gone after women before where like maybe they're a little bit too like princessy and, you know, like I want someone to get me the charger. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, you know?
Absolutely. So then what are your non-negotiables?
Oh, God. Unfortunately, like, I feel like I'd be negotiating all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I gotta stop that. But my non-negotiables... Okay, I think that I'm always either, like, out or in.
Okay.
Right? Like, I am 100%, 120% in.
Okay.
And, like, I need someone to match me with that. But, like, that does take, like, a certain level of, like, I don't know, crazy. And I think, like, a lot of people, like, are maybe guarded and they don't want to, like, fully jump in. But maybe that's healthy.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Maybe it's just me. Too much of a lover girl.
So you either are, like, balls to the wall, working 13 hours a day, or you're like, cozy time, don't talk to me, I want to be inside. Is that what I'm gathering?
No,
or do you mean like how you relate to people? Like
I guess, like, if I'm with someone, I feel like I'm wholeheartedly with them, and there's no, like, sneaky stuff on the side. Like, I feel like I don't even, like, look at people. Like, I'm so blinders on that it's kind of psycho for, like, an OnlyFans girl to be so blinders on, right?
Is it, though? I mean, I feel like that's just wanting some love.
Yeah.
Some connection.
I actually know most OnlyFans girls are very in love and committed, like lover girls.
Totally.
But I guess, like, for the perception of most people, like, they think that that's, like, doesn't really go hand in hand.
Okay.
But yeah, so
they should be at least 4 feet tall. Should we say that as a non-negotiable?
I mean,
is that like a safe
I've
one?
dated I've dated shorter than me.
Like a 3'2".
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Why, do you have someone in mind?
Like, let me see who I got.
A 3-foot person I know.
But are you open to dating? Are we open? Are you doing your thing?
I am open to dating. I went in Hong Kong. I went on a date, and I was like, with a girl.
Okay.
Mutuals, kind of. I met some other people in Bali. I was like, they were like, oh, come to Hong Kong. So I was like, okay, I'll go to Hong Kong.
So fun.
You know, and then, like, I met one of their mutual friends. Anyways, so I take this girl on a date, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? Just pick the place. I just want to see Hong Kong. It doesn't really matter. It's all good. You can actually throw some real money down in Hong Kong that I did not fucking know about.
No. Were you sugar mama?
I was sugar mama. I was like, and she said that. She's like, oh, you're going to be sugar mama for that? I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'll spend like $300, $400 on this date.
Which is still a pretty penny.
It's a pretty penny.
Okay.
Right? That's...
I'm scared.
$1,000.
No.
$1,000.
On dinner?
On dinner. And the worst part is I had just been, like, super sick, probably from, like, Bali in Thailand, like the water or some shit.
Montezuma's revenge.
Yeah. Oh. And so having seafood made me want to puke. And half of the menu was, like, these little, like, seafood things, right?
It's always the little things that you're paying $1,000 for.
Yeah.
And you're still fucking
everything
hungry.
was this size. I'm like, get me the fuck out of here. I need a California burrito.
It's an octopus anus, and you're like, how is this a delicacy?
I was eating with my friends that I had made in Bali, and we were like, well, what's the craziest thing that you've had to eat? And they were like, whale sperm. And we were like, whale sperm? That's crazy. And then they were like, like, he's a very big foodie. Okay. He's like, oh, yeah, I had that, like, last week, and then I had this the week before. I was like, the craziest thing you ate was last week? Was it, and like, it was whale sperm?
Also, how is that prepared? Is it like a little...
It was like
cold
it was like I don't know if it was cold or hot. I think it was cold, because it was like a blob on top of something.
You're joking.
Yeah, so
not
it was
the
like
blob.
A sack.
No.
I'm like...
Do you, like, tap the top and it's like...
Beautiful. Like a nice little dessert.
To be a little sick, a little diarrhea, I'm having a stroke.
I literally was...
No. And you have to be on a date?
And this date cost me $1,000.
Nope.
Yeah.
You're a soldier.
Yeah.
Wow.
The chosen one, really. And then the worst part, and this is all my fault because of who I am as a person.
Oh, no.
I was a girl and I was shy, so I didn't even hold her hand or kiss her.
Not even a handhold. Not even a mitten.
I can't be the boy.
No.
I know. I should have.
Was she like, are you gonna...
Well, before the date, like the day or two before, she was telling me about how she was in some country and she like got a happy ending massage.
My dream.
From a woman.
Okay.
Right? And so that was like a whole joke, right? This massage. So the day of the date comes and she's like, hey, do you want me to come or do you want to come over and I can give you a massage before the date? And I was literally like,
she gave me the invite.
Yeah. You know, I might be sending mixed signals because I was like, I want to take you on a date, but I'm like, I don't want to fuck you though.
Sure.
Let me fuck you like after the date, you know?
Oh, she wanted to do the massage before?
Before?
That's too much.
I was like, I've only known you for...
That's absolutely too much.
4 hours.
To get finger banged before eating whale sperm feels like the wrong combination of events.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And is this the same trip that you like got a tattoo and then peed your pants and like saw a chicken?
Oh, okay. So that was one of my very first trips. I went to see the Filipinos out there. We'll all know.
Gang gang.
Pinoy gang.
Okay.
Wong Ode's tattoo. So I went up into the rice fields. I was dropped. So first you're dropped off by bus from like the main Manila.
Okay.
Right? So I'm dropped off at 2 a.m. Mind you, middle of nowhere. There's nothing around.
Are you alone?
I was with my boyfriend at the time.
Okay.
So, but boyfriend's small. We're you could take advantage of us for sure.
Perfect.
Not that I had much money on me.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
This was a long time ago. Right? So
you're in a rice field at 2 a.m.
So it wasn't a rice field yet. So it was like desolate. There's nothing around. There are these like hedges, and like far off we see like a hotel. Right? Single hotel. And the pre-planning for this was before it got really super touristy. So it was just like a Reddit post.
Okay.
That it was just like, get on this bus, go to this place, you'll see a hotel.
You said a prayer and you
2
went
a.m.
off.
And I said a prayer and I went off.
Okay.
So we're dropped off. I don't see anything around. We're freaking out, right? And the bus driver's just like, go over there. And so we start walking and there's the one hotel. So we get like one of the last rooms that are booked, right? We end up, later, they're like, oh, we're going to call one of the tribal people, which is funny because later on they have these phones on like wires, like hung up. And there's these little like...
Functional phones? Or is it like a walkie-talkie or like a cup with a string?
They're like there's like multiple like little like shitty flip phones from like the 90s.
I love that.
Shit,
okay.
Right? And so yeah. Anyways, they call the phone. Some tribal person picks us up, right? In like this shitty little car. We're on this like bumpy path, right? And we finally enter like where we have to start walking. So we start walking up the rice field and then like we're on like the side of like, it wasn't the worst cliff ever, but it was like, we really could upgrade this path, guys. You know?
This is to get a tattoo?
Yes, because she's super famous.
Okay.
So she's the last tribal woman or tribal person.
Okay.
So, like, before the, like, war, so she only speaks tribal, and then she, like, taps it with soot and a thorn, and when we get there, she's sick. So I actually have 2 tattoos, and one's from her granddaughter. I kind of want to get that one removed, because I'm like, I really didn't come here for you. I came here for your grandma.
Can you imagine trekking that far?
Yeah.
Having to, like, ride off a cliff?
Yeah.
And then to not get the tattoo from
right?
Zelda or whatever her name is?
Yeah, Zelda. Yeah. And then, like, getting there and she's sick, right? So we're like, well, we'll stay. And they're like, well, you can stay in this tribal person's house.
Okay.
Right? So, or I shouldn't call him a tribal person. He's just a villager.
Okay.
Right? This villager's house. So we sleep on the floor in this guy's, on the like, not made up floor of this guy's like shack. Right? And so we're there. We wait like 2 days. Honestly,
2 days?
Well, we had to wait for her to get better.
No.
Yeah, because I was like, well, I'm waiting for this fucking tattoo. We're getting it done, right? Anyway, she ends up being okay. But, like, it was one of the best dodgy experiences now that I'm older. They gave us, like, this like, village weed.
Okay.
Which, at the time, the Philippines president was killing people
for
drugs.
Like super illegal.
Super illegal.
Okay.
He was literally killing people left and right.
No.
And we're like, hey man, like, what happens if the president like finds out we're smoking your tribal weed? And he's like, the president doesn't climb mountains. And I'm like, sick. Hand me some. I get the most blitzed I've ever been in my life on the best weed I've ever had. I'm like, it's crazy because they weren't speaking good English. They were speaking like Tagalog mostly, and then like really poor English. But I was laughing my ass off, and I don't even think the jokes made sense, you know?
Didn't matter. You were having a ball.
I was having a ball.
Yeah.
And they were like, I was smoking this weed, and there's like these, I don't know what you call them, gaggles of like pigs.
Okay.
Little baby pigs like running around, and like, it was amazing. I saw them like slaughter a chicken, and like, the blood like dripped down, and like then they cooked it and we ate it for like a nickel. A nickel. And I was like, honestly, I think even if she died, I definitely think that I would just go back and hang out in the village.
Wow.
Yeah, we got the bill at the end, and it was like, oh my God.
Like $11?
Yeah.
Stop.
It was amazing.
Stop. What a time. That sounds like a twisted Pixar movie. Like the pigs and the this and the
the drugs, the president.
My God.
Yeah.
You've lived a lot of life.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mean to switch the tone on you, but I did notice that you do your annual birthday post.
I too, yes.
And I noticed that this year was a bit teary,
a little
emotional. Are you able to talk about what last year had in store for you, or?
Okay. Let me see. How do I dance around this, right? Because if it was up to me, I would just blab all my own secrets. I don't care. Open book, right?
Okay.
It's all the people that are involved that I can't, like, say too much. And maybe I shouldn't be protecting people. Okay. You know? That's also a thing. But, you know, I definitely... Yeah.
Was it friend stuff, family stuff, I mean... You don't have to say anything you don't want to say, but it seemed like last year was very trying for you.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I mean, I do not mind telling you after the podcast.
Okay.
But there's nothing that I can give you that isn't going to like open the flood to it all.
We'll keep the flood closed.
Yeah.
Keep the dam closed.
But
okay.
You know, eventually I'm hoping to tell my, you know, little...
You do a memoir.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
maybe when all the scars fade from everyone else.
Okay. We can push them off to the island in the Philippines or wherever you want.
Yeah.
So, are you feeling better going into this year? Do you feel like a different energy?
I feel so much better. I feel like, you know, I've gotten away from people that I should probably be getting away from and not as entangled with.
Okay.
And I think that all of the traveling for me, I've traveled at least 2 places a year since I was like 17.
Wow.
And this year it's been a lot more, but traveling is one of those things that like it really like brings me back to like, what are we doing here, Sabrina?
Sure.
You know, It really grounds me a lot. And I feel like
some grass.
You can get so caught up with fun and whatever the fuck that you're not seeing what is really happening, and you're also not following your intuition on a lot of things just because everything's so fast paced and we're having fun, and you know, you want things to end up a certain way, but like when reality hits you in the face and you go, fuck, you know. And I think that traveling helps to mend that a lot for me. There was a point that I was actually like, well, I was going to kill myself, but
no,
I didn't. Sick.
Okay. Was that last year?
Yeah, that was much into last year.
Okay.
But I think that I blanked now.
That's okay.
Oh my God.
That's okay.
Oh my God. Not emotions. Get out of here. When I was making my birthday post, because I do it every year, I like started crying. I don't know what it is. The TV isn't on, so if I see myself crying, it makes me cry because I just like feel so bad for her.
You have like empathy for yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think my best trait, maybe, is, like, I empathize with everyone else, too. And that's why I, like, don't really want to, like, do a tell-all, is because, like,
yeah,
even though things were done that, you know, shouldn't have, I believe, happened,
you're still protecting them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, you know, I don't think a lot of people don't walk through life trying to hurt people. I don't think anyone does that. I think it just kind of happens.
If anyone hurts her, let me tell you something. This is America's sweetheart. Quit it. I will stab you with a knife. I won't. Yeah. A blunt one. But we're feeling good. We're feeling like this year is going to have some fresh new energy.
Yeah, okay. I was about to, that's where I was. I was about to, like, give it all up. Okay. Like, even after the fact, after I kind of healed a little bit, I was like, you know what? What if I just travel the world, give up my whole career, give up all the money, you know, don't even do that anymore and just completely log off, right? And then through traveling, and I did get to log off for a period of time, through traveling, I was like, wait a fucking minute. I liked doing all of this. Sometimes I feel like you lose yourself so much.
Totally.
And, like, once you have, like, this peace of mind and have a second to, like, breathe, you can get back to, like, who you really are.
Totally.
Right?
Sometimes you got to walk away from it to get right on back.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah. I feel like I'm coming back into myself.
Yeah.
Into who I really am.
But in a newer version, maybe.
Yeah, a better version, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, you've made it. We have one last question that ends every episode.
Okay.
I also just want to say, and I say this with you are a delight.
Thank you.
A Turkish delight. What do you wish more people understood about you? As a cosplayer, as Sabrina.
I think that I am very, like, complex, if I do say so myself.
Yeah.
Right? I think that, and I've, in my later years online, have opened up a lot more. Like, you know, I'll be crying online. People were like, you're so strong, and, like, you're so, inspiring that you're so open online. And I was like, oh fuck, maybe I went too far. I was just being myself.
Oh my god, no.
You know, but I've been more showing different sides of me, whereas I think in the beginning I had only wanted to show happiness, because I do think that with me being happy, it makes other people happy. And that's what I want to do. Like, I want to make other people happy. I get a lot of messages like, you make me smile, and, like, I look forward to your content, right? Back in the day, I used to get a lot of, like, I didn't kill myself because of your content, which was crazy. I was like, okay.
That's hardcore.
Right. And I was like, you know, I want to be that happiness for people, but there is this part of me that deeply wants to connect with people, and I think that's what drove me to be online and want to be famous, is that I like being seen for who I am. And it got to a point that when I was sad, like, I don't know how long this episode is gonna be, but, like,
time flies.
I went through a serious, like, thing, and I wanted to show, like, a more sad side to me, but I didn't. And now I think that I am showing more complexity with who I am online, so I can, I don't know, I guess, like, connect with my fans.
Totally. I also think people are inherently drawn to authenticity.
Yeah.
Especially in a world where people are pretending to be something they're not. I know that's kind of ironic because you are pretending to be a raccoon.
Right? Like, it's weird.
Yes, but also the human aspect of it, I think, will always be somewhere to connect with someone else. Yeah. So show the tears, girl. Show the tears and the tits.
Yeah, tears and tits. That's the motto for 2025.
Oh, well, we're bringing back whimsy. We're taking the tits out, and we're just going to have a ball.
Yeah.
And where can they find you?
So you can find me at...
Let it out.
I feel like I'm going to burp.
Free content? Are you joking?
It's not coming, though. I think I'm burp shy.
Oh.
Okay, so you can find me at the Sabrina Banks. I'd also really like it if you followed my, like, clips page, which is the Sabrina Banks. No, it's not. It's sabrinabanks.clips. Those are both on Instagram. But that's Sabrina Banks on Twitter and TikTok. And it's Sabrina Banks Official on YouTube, which I'm going to come back to.
Oh. Ooh, I love it. Yeah. Well, I'm going to put this on the episode. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I obviously have 18 million more questions, but thank you. You're amazing.